Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Pub Sports Radio, Friday, April 7th. Ian Cameron, Skee Prophet, and Billy Briz. We are here for our regular season finale edition of the NBA Pub Hub show. This is our final show during the regular season. The regular season wraps up Sunday. Thank fucking goodness for that. I'm fed up with load management and wondering who's motivated on a nightly basis and getting last-second lineup changes that you don't expect when you don't think they're going to happen. And so that's going to be done after this weekend pretty much for the most part once the play-in tournament starts on Tuesday and then the playoffs right after that. Believe me, we're all looking forward to it. But we do have one more regular season NBA card to cap for you here on the NBA Pub Hub show, and it's this one for this Friday. Let's start with Miami and Washington. We've got Miami 4.5-point road favorites, 216.5 the total. Here in this game, if you've checked the lineup in situation for both of these teams, they're both pretty much a bunch of starters out on both sides, especially for Miami. It looks like Tyler Hero out, Jimmy Butler out, Bam Adebayo out, and that's the nucleus of the team right there, essentially sitting for the Miami Heat tonight. Max Strus, he actually might play, but with the finger injury he's got, I don't even think it's a sure thing he'll suit up. He's questionable. So we could be looking at a Gabe Vincent, Oladipo, Caleb Martin, Cody Zeller, 5 from Miami with the question marks regarding Strus, to whether he'll join them or not. And then on the Washington side, it's pretty much similar to what we've seen from them the last couple of games. Porzingis, Morris, Kuzma, Beal, Althea. Talked about how Denny Althea has been out the last few games as well for Washington. So they're all out of the lineup. They're going to pretty much go with similar 5 that they had the other night in their most recent game. I actually lean to the Wizards just slightly. I mean, Miami doesn't seem like they're interested in this game. And the one thing about Washington, these are their last 2 home games coming up today and then Sunday against Houston. So maybe there's a little incentive to close out at home decently at least. But I lean Washington, lean over. I mean, Miami's gone over in 3 straight. Washington's gone over in 3 straight. And when there's a lack of motivation, I also expect a lack of defense. And I think there's a chance we might see that. I'm a little surprised, actually, the total's gone down. There are a couple props that I do like in this game on the Washington side. Johnny Davis over points. I mean, I think both Billy and I mentioned him on Wednesday, and now he's gone back-to-back games with 20 points here for the Washington Wizards, and someone's going to have to do the scoring for them. And I think him and Kispert, are going to be the guys that you're probably going to want to at least try to trust here to be the catalysts offensively right now for the Washington Wizards. So I think Kispert and Davis, if you're going to target point props, those are the 2 for Washington here in this game. Skee, what do you think, Miami, Washington?
Yeah, today I'm not going to have a whole lot to say. It's a lot of games that I feel like people don't really care themselves. So why would I care too much to bet them? And it just feels like a lot of guesswork. That's just my opinion. So with that said, Miami, I feel like if anybody has something to play for out of these 2 teams, it's them. I think they can still get out of the play-in tournament. And just for that reason, I'll lean towards them. But seeing everybody on the injury report, everybody out, it doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence to back them. So not a game that I'm playing, just lean Miami.
Yeah, they're basically doing the talking and the handicapping for you, Skee, Miami, because if they're really, really interested and excited and want to get out of the play-in tournament for sure, they'd be playing more of their people than they are from the looks of things in this game tonight. So that does definitely questions whether they care too much to do that. What do you think here, Billy?
Yeah, I did Jimmy's show yesterday, and we broke down all the games. I'm not doing that today, bro. Skip, pass. I don't give a fuck about this basketball game.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. All right, we move along here to the next game on the slate, Houston and Charlotte. Houston 4.5-point road favorites, 229 being the total. I'm just going to keep this simple. Houston's a bad team, especially defensively. We don't trust Charlotte to play defense half the time. Don't bet a side, just bet for points. This is exactly the same profile of late season NBA game that I saw last night with Portland, San Antonio, and I cashed an easy over the total in that game. I think this is very similar. I don't trust either of these teams to play a lick of defense. 2 teams going absolutely nowhere after the season, but home or golfing or Cancun, whatever you want to say. So to me, I like over here, 229. Nothing more to say than that. Skee, Houston, Charlotte.
Yeah, I can't talk you off of an over. I agree with your assessment that I don't trust either one of these teams defensively. If not that, probably just play Jalen Green over his points. He's been playing pretty good lately, and he did the same thing last year towards the end of the year when a lot of teams didn't care anymore. So either Jalen Green points over or full game over.
All right, Billy.
I like Sevi Mikhailiuk tonight in this game. That would be my favorite. What?
Svi.
He's trying to get you to pronounce it correctly.
Hey,
Steve
man.
Mikhailiuk.
Hey, that's my boy. That's my
Close
boy.
enough,
That's
yeah.
why. He played for the squad.
Everybody was coming at me yesterday when I tweeted out John Collins instead of Zach Collins. I put the NBA hashtag on there, man. Each his own. But Sevi Mikhailiuk, he stepped up 33-plus minutes in 4 straight games. 26, 21, 31, and 24 points and assists on 13, 12, 17, and 14 field goal attempts. Love this spot against here. For the Rockets, favorite player prop of the day is Sevi Mikhailiuk, over 16.5 points, -125.
All right, indeed. Good stuff. All right, Detroit, Indiana. We've got the Pacers here currently 6.5, 7-point favorites, 232.5 the total in this game. Basically ditto what I just said about the last game. I mean, Halliburton out, Duarte. It looks like Miles Turner's a game-time decision for the Pacers. I guess if you're going to look at Pacer props, if someone's going to do the scoring against this awful Detroit defense, it's going to be Nembhard and Mathurin, probably Nwora, maybe chips in as well. But the prop I like here, I like the over, first of all. I agree with this total going up to 232.5. But I like Jaden Ivey over assists. He had 10 in the last game. He's definitely been setting his teammates up for whatever offense the Pistons have been getting lately. So I think that's a really good prop look. I've cashed with Jaden Ivey over assists a bunch of times lately. They've finally moved it up. It's been 5.5, 6.5 a lot of these recent games. It's now up to 7.5. I still think there's value. I think he can hit the 10 assists he had the other night. So over 7.5 assists, around plus 115 for Jaden Ivey for Detroit. I like that one quite a bit. What do you think here, Skee? Pistons, Pacers.
Yeah, if you bet in that game, it's got to be either Ivy or Wiseman. I think those are the two guys that you focus on playing on. So I like where you went there. Maybe that or Wiseman double, something like that. And Justin, it's gonna be a little something. It won't be NBA, but we'll look at another sport.
Yeah, this is that tells you what Skee thinks of this card. This is a garbage card here today on the NBA slate. He's going to do a show, and it's not going to be much of anything about his signature sport, the NBA. So,
No, like Skee, I feel you, bro. I got way much more money on PFL than any of these NBA games. So.
Yeah, I know it's tough. What do you have anything here, Billy? Detroit, Indiana.
I'm right there with you with the Jaden Ivey prop. I would probably play points and assists over just the assist prop because I definitely think Detroit's got to have somebody to score tonight. And the way Indiana's defense has looked, they've over their last 15 games, they've been the NBA's worst defense, playing at the 4th fastest pace. So perfect game environment for Jaden Ivey. He's gone over his points and assist prop 4 out of his last 6 games, averaging 28 points and assists across 35 minutes. So I have him projected tonight for 32 points and assists. So that leaves the current projection right now at 28.5 at -125. A good play. Personally, I ain't gonna lie to you. I never lied to you. I don't think I'm throwing my money on it. But if you're looking for something in this game, that would be the way to go. But to be honest with you, the only thing I'm really feeling today in the player prop market, Sevi Mikhailiuk.
So you're basically, these are the would-be bets for Billy Briz.
This would be the if I had $3,000 in my pocket and I wanted to be the degenerate and bet every game, but life ain't like that right now, man. No. We petty scratching for a Friday NBA card, man. We went with the money line favorites.
Well, exactly, and this time of year too, for yours truly, we pay through the nose tax season is here, so that doesn't help things either. We got to keep winning. That's the bottom line. We got to keep trying to win the bets because tax.
Yeah, I'm a little bit pissed, man. My sleep schedule has been fucked up, but the Raptors were by far the best bet today at +3. But now that line's gone.
Oh, yeah, that ship has sailed with obviously the news for Boston and the news for Philadelphia in the next game against Atlanta. Hawks now up to 11.5-point home favorites, 236 the total in this game. We know the news here for Philadelphia after the loss to Miami last night. Now they're on a back-to-back here tonight against Atlanta. And, all the key cogs are sitting for the most part. There's no Joel Embiid. There's no James Harden. There's no Tyrese Maxey. There's no PJ Tucker here tonight for Philadelphia. And even Tobias Harris may not even go because he's got a left hip injury that may keep him out. So very much, and it looks like a really small lineup too. Shake Milton and Daniel House expected to be the starting backcourt tonight for the Sixers. DeAndre Hunter game time decision, but it looks like it's all hands on deck here for Atlanta because they're still jockeying for positioning, seeding, within the play-in tournament right now as far as that goes. So there's still something to strive for, if you will, here for the Atlanta Hawks. They're in the 8th spot. They're one game ahead of Toronto for the 9th spot. And again, that's important. If you're in the 7-8 game, you only need to win once to get into the playoffs. If you're in the 9-10 game, well, obviously, if you lose, you're done. But even if you win the 9 versus 10 play-in game, you got to win again. You got to win a second game to get into the playoffs. So you want to avoid the extra game if you can. And I think Atlanta's trying to do that. So, but do I want to lay 11 though with this group? No, maybe a team total with Atlanta over might be safer. And certainly the full game over has been hit, and hard to argue with that. A lot of defense out for Philly tonight. What do you think here, Skee?
Yeah, you already mentioned it. Atlanta has something to play for. Philly does not. You saw how Philly looked in that last game versus Miami. I don't see them, with any reason to give more effort tonight. Atlanta, I have a system on them that says play the heavy favorites when their opponent's on a back-to-back. So because of that, I'll lean Atlanta minus 11.
All right, Billy.
I think Atlanta is more than likely going to win this game, but I just can't back Atlanta at double-digit favorites, especially even at home. They're only 15-8 as home favorites this year, 45% hit rate, and 4-3 as home favorites this month. Nothing you can really do in this game. They're not really giving you player props for this game, so backward.
All right.
Yeah, it feels like Atlanta or leave it alone. And here's the problem. Atlanta was laying 12.5 against Washington in their last game. And I get Philly's resting everybody, but the difference is 1 point between Philly and Washington. I think not, even with Philly resting people. But that's why. I mean, if it feels like you got to bet Atlanta or nothing, but can you really bet Atlanta 11? When they were 12 the other night against Washington, it's hard to find the value in that number. All right, next up, we've got Orlando and Brooklyn. Brooklyn 11-point favorites here, 218.5 the total here in this game. It looks like Orlando is another team where they're going to have a bunch of key cogs out. Moritz Wagner, Mo Wagner's out, Wendell Carter, Franz Wagner, game time decision, Gary Harris, Markelle Fultz, Paolo Banchero. It looks like questionable with a back injury. Now, some of these guys haven't been ruled out, I should say. Banchero's questionable. Fultz is probable, actually. Harris is questionable for Orlando, and Franz Wagner with the ankle is questionable. So this is one of those, move on it maybe if you get more information. But the way I read the tea leaves here with these teams, especially these latter games, they look like they're going to sit some of these guys. Orlando's already been eliminated anyway. Brooklyn, meanwhile, there is reason to play for Brooklyn. They're 6th in the East right now, and they're trying to make sure they stay out of the play-in tournament and that they get one of the top 6 spots in the Eastern Conference. So for Brooklyn, there is incentive. Orlando, I don't know if there is, and you're seeing that there might be a bunch sitting out, a lot of them questionable, but that's enough to say can't back Orlando for me, at least in this spot. But I'm passing on this one. Skee, what do you think? Magic, Nets.
Backwood.
All right.
All right, Billy.
Backward, man. I despise of the fucking Orlando Magic. I get it, man. Y'all ain't gonna make the playoffs and all that. But on your last home game of the season, for those season ticket holders, man, I would be pissed if I was an Orlando Magic season ticket holder last night. Man, those are the people that really lost last night, not the ones that took the Magic. But I was part of the losing yesterday. So backwood here for me. I want nothing to do with any of these games, especially this one.
All right.
That's a good point. You would think a lot of times these teams that are out of it, at least they bring you something strong on the final home game of the season. Send everybody
That was the
home
theory
happy.
last night,
Yeah.
Potato. Like on
Yeah.
the final home game, y'all gonna
Yeah.
rest 8 people, man. Like
Yeah.
they don't want to see you win in Vegas, man. So fuck it, man. I'm just gonna get you on the UFC card and NBA play-in tournament. So
They were favored by 5.5 basically and lost by 24. By the way,
but I was saying I took it at minus 300 in a parlay in the morning of, and to be honest with you, I looked at the injury news report. Everything looked cool, and then 5 o'clock came around. That was the end of that ticket.
that tells you all you need to know. And now we're going to trust them at Brooklyn and at Miami in their final 2 games on the road. I think not.
It's
So,
like,
yeah.
would you bet Orlando Magic plus 11.5? Probably not with the roster that they were putting out there last night.
No.
Holy shit, man.
Yep.
They made Danny Green look like fucking Kyle Korver.
That's not a good thing either. Keep that in mind. So yeah, that's problems. And now they're going on the road, and you got to question, what the hell, if anything, they're going to bring.
Yeah, Danny Green scoring 28 points off the bench. I want no parts of the game.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to give up 26 points to Danny fucking Green right now, and somehow Orlando managed to do it. Toronto and Boston, flip of favorites here because Boston opened 2.5-point home favorites. Now the Raptors are laying 1.5, 2-point favorites on the road here, 221.5. I did bet Toronto here as well. I mean, it's just clear as day. Toronto actually battled Boston pretty well the first game. I think they probably win this one. Boston's taking a powder. That's crystal clear here when you look at their lineup. Smart, White, game time decisions for this one. Jaylen Brown's not going to go as well. It looks like even I think Tatum's in, but really other than that, there's a bunch missing here for the Boston Celtics. But keep in mind, Tatum might actually be, I still think Tatum might be a late scratch because you got that hip issue still, and we'll have to wait and see on that. But to me, it looks like it's a clear Toronto. It's certainly motivational advantage. Toronto still trying to get up to eighth, where they put themselves in a position where they only need to win one of the two play-in games, whereas if they finish ninth or 10th, probably ninth, is because that's where they are now. They're going to have to win twice to get into the playoffs. You want to avoid that if you can. And so there is that motivational incentive right now for Toronto. So if you moved early on Toronto, you got a really good number. I think it's a really good bet. I still lean that way. But if you take them now, I would say just bet the money line here, minus 125, minus 130. Don't worry about laying the points. What do you think here in this one, Skee, Raptors, Celtics? Oh, Siakam, by the way, over points and assists. I like that here. That's been a good bet lately. What do you think, Skee?
I appreciate you, Sam Colner, for the dono, and also I need the Raptors to win anyway, so I don't have to bet this game. But I do think they're the right side just because they have something to play for, and Boston does not. I'm sitting here with the Boston win total under 56.5, so I think they have 2 more games left. We need them to lose just 1 more, so hopefully it's tonight.
Yeah, hopefully that is exactly. We'll see how it unfolds. Billy, Raptors, Celtics. You mentioned already Toronto was good if you got it early.
Yeah, shouts to Skee, man. Those future lines be sharp as hell, man. It's like, how does Vegas know it's about to come down to the last 2 games of the season? Like, Boston should have been lost a couple more games than that. But as you digress, though, I like Toronto here. Babano is the Toronto Raptor fan on the panel, and he hit the nail in the coffin. Pascal Siakam props in this one. Toronto for this one. Even if you're getting in on this one late, I wouldn't mind betting Toronto straight money line right now. I mean, it's not the best value, but sometimes it's all about who's getting the W at the win column at the end of the game, and I think that goes to Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. And Siakam had played pretty well the other night, actually, against Boston. And I think he duplicates that here tonight. That's a good prop on their side. All right, next up, Knicks and Pelicans. New Orleans, 8.5-point home favorites, 223 is the total. In this game, you look at the standings right now. The New York Knicks, 5th, locked into 5th, likely going to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's a great first-round series, Cavaliers and Knicks. That would be pretty interesting, pretty intriguing. Between those two teams. So it looks like they're going to be facing Cleveland. Cleveland will have home court advantage in that 4-5 matchup in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. So not a whole lot on the line here for the Knicks, and their lineup dictates that. Julius Randle out, Jalen Brunson out, RJ Barrett questionable. I think he's not going to play, quite honestly. He's missed the last 2 games due to illness. Why bring him back tonight, when you're locked into 5th against the Pelicans? So my guess is, and again, this is not confirmed, but my guess is RJ Barrett isn't playing either for the Knicks tonight. And then on the flip side, we've got New Orleans, who are still involved in trying to finish, 7th or 8th and avoiding that 9-10 game, just like with the Raptors. Pelicans trying to finish 7th or 8th. And actually, they have an outside shot of still getting out of the play-in tournament altogether because they're only 1 game behind both the Clippers who have the 5 seed and the Warriors who have the 6 seed. So they could actually still, find their way out of the play-in tournament. So there's definitely incentive here for the Pelicans. I cashed one of the luckiest as fuck winners the other night you'll ever see with New Orleans. I laid the 6 with them against Memphis, and Memphis had a lot of guys out, and they were terrible early in the game, Pelicans. And they came back, they took the lead, looked like they were going to win and cover in regulation. Memphis came back, forced overtime, and then New Orleans pulled away in overtime, won and covered, won by 7. So I'll take it. It was a lucky win, but I'll take it. But that was such a sweat and so uncomfortable cashing that ticket with New Orleans that I'm a little hesitant to lay 8.5 with them. But it's Pelicans or nothing for me. Maybe you go first half, full game split, something like that. But I don't know. I barely got out of Dodge with a winner on New Orleans the other night in a spot similar to this against Memphis. I'm a little reluctant to go back to it here. Maybe if for props, by the way, for the Knicks, Quickly and Grimes. Those are the two guys. If anyone's going to do something for them tonight offensively, I mean, they both their point props cashed easily in the last game. Quickly and Grimes for New York. So those are good props to me tonight. What do you think here, Skee?
Lean Pelicans just because they have something to play for, and Brandon Ingram's been playing really good for the past couple of weeks, so I might look at his props tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon Ingram point props have been really good. He's consistently mid to high 20s and a lot of 30s as well for points lately. What do you think here, Billy?
I like the Pelicans in this game. I would try to go on the Pelicans in any which way so possible that you can. Maybe team total over, maybe money line for the parlays. Me personally, I parlayed the Pelicans with Aspen Ladd on the PFL card. Got close to even odds. So that's my play for this one. Not what the people wanted to hear, but get on the Pelicans tonight. I don't like the minus 8.5. I think the Knicks could probably backdoor cover 8.5, but this is what the books are doing. They know the Pelicans need the win. They know the Pelicans are more than likely going to get the win, but lay 8.5. I don't know, man. 8.5 points is a lot of points. We saw what the Knicks rotational guys did the other night. I think they could possibly put up the same performance, but the Pelicans are rolling right now. They're hot. Last game in Smoothie Arena for the season for the Pelicans. I think they pull out the W here tonight.
All right. Yeah, I think the Pelicans are definitely the side. I might come back. I did win with them the other night. It was very, very uncomfortable, but because it was much tougher than I thought it would be, but still might come back.
It can't get any worse than that, right?
Yeah, I know. I mean, they were asleep for a first half against Memphis last night, but then when they turned it on, they dominated Memphis. So hopefully they do that for 48 minutes tonight. Memphis, Milwaukee. We've got Memphis 8-point road favorites, 229.5 the total. And the fact that you see the Memphis Grizzlies laying 8 on the road at Milwaukee tells you where Milwaukee's head is at tonight. Not in the game, probably. Grayson Allen, the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Pat Connaughton, Drew Holiday, Brooke Lopez, Chris Middleton, they're all out for Milwaukee, and rightfully so. I mean, there's nothing here on the line in these last two games. They've locked up number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, so there's no reason to go balls to the wall if you're Milwaukee. Memphis here on the flip side looks like John Morant, Desmond Bane, Dillon Brooks, Jaren Jackson, Xavier Tillman, all going to suit up for them here tonight in this game. And you look at where their spot in the standings is right now, second in the West. They probably can't catch Denver at this point in time, 2 games behind them, and they're 2 games ahead of Sacramento. So, it's unlikely they move up. It's unlikely they move down. But still, there's probably at least a little bit more incentive. I don't know if there's enough to lay 8 though on the road. So I'm actually off this game entirely. What do you think here, Skee?
Aqua game.
All right.
Yeah. See, the motivation with Toronto and New Orleans and some of these other teams tonight where they're trying to improve their play-in seeding or get out of the play-in, I think that's legit motive. The number 2 seed, when you probably can't catch Denver and you probably can't fall behind Sacramento like Memphis is. So I question just how committed they are to this game tonight. Like, it's not a huge deal, especially considering where they are right now. What do you think here, Billy, with Grizzlies Bucks?
I would have a slight lean towards Memphis, but I wouldn't want to trust them full game like you talked about the motivational aspect. I know Milwaukee's usually a good first half team, but I actually like the Memphis Grizzlies in the first half minus the 4. That would be the only way I would play this game. Maybe the Grizzlies in some long parlays, but maybe the Milwaukee home fans get up for this one. They backdoor cover, maybe not win the game, but I imagine the bench players and the rotational players for the Bucks right now are fighting for playoff rotational spots. This team's gotten a little bit deeper than what we've previously remember, this team is really deep. It's probably hard to get minutes outside of the starting lineup right now. So maybe these bench guys give them a little bit of extra motivation. Last home game of the season for them. Maybe the Bucks +8 full game total, but I would take Milwaukee if it was like a little bit more plus money. If it was like plus 12.5, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable with it. So I guess pass for me.
All right. I don't know what you do with this next game. I really honestly don't, but we're going to talk about it. Chicago Bulls, Dallas Mavericks. You've got Dallas here in this one, 8-point home favorites, 220.5 the total in this game. Who wants to lay 8 with Dallas? Not me. Not a chance do I do that. I was on Sacramento the other night. I said, what on earth now? Dallas laying 6.5 here against Sacramento. It was insane to me. And Sacramento was leading, and they actually coughed up the game late, but they still covered. They lost by 4 as 6.5-point dogs. There's just no way, zero interest in laying 8 with Dallas. But have you watched Chicago these last 2 games? This looks like a team that's resigned to being 10th, to be the last team into the play-in tournament. I don't think they can catch Toronto. They're probably, if Toronto finishes, now whoever finishes 9th, they're going to have to go to that team to play that play-in game on the road next week. And they're looking like a team that's just ready to start the play-in tournament. Non-competitive, the Chicago Bulls, these last 2 games, 123-105 to Atlanta, 105-92 against Milwaukee in their last game. Kind of an uninspired Milwaukee team, still beat them by 13. So I question if Chicago's interested these last couple games. So this is my backwood, Vic. Hit it.
All right.
All right, Skee.
If you think the Mavericks can cover 8 points with all the people missing, you might as well just go bet Luka Doncic's points. So I think that's the way I would play this game.
Yeah, exactly. Don't bet Dallas. I think I said that Wednesday, Skee, on the show. Yeah, it was we weren't there that day, but I was on Wednesday. I said if you like Dallas, just bet Luka to do it. Score a bunch of points. So what do you think here, Billy?
No Kyrie Irving. Maybe this is what Luka wanted, man. I mean, Luka's out there on the court. No Kyrie Irving. Dallas tonight, man. The way the Bulls have been playing the last 2 games is not the Bulls over the last month. I'm not a fan of how this team's really playing. I think Dallas is going to go play some good basketball tonight at home. I lean Dallas the trifecta, honestly. First quarter, first half, full game.
Shaquille O'Neal, Shaq on TNT. What's he always say is one of his favorite slogans, his go-to saying, so that when the general leads, the troops will follow. I don't know. I said that a million times on that TNT panel. Well, DeMar DeRozan's supposed to be the leader of the team, and 36 minutes, 8 points the other night. So that tells you if he's not interested, and he's not going to play better than that here in these final couple of games, how's the team going to play better as well? So that tells you all you need to know too. So again, Chicago's a tough team to trust, but I ain't laying 8 with Dallas. So this was an easy move on to the next one, which we will do. Next up, we've got Golden State and Sacramento. Golden State, 9.5-point road favorites, 235 being the total in this game. Even I know why they're betting the total down. I get it from the Sacramento standpoint here, because it looks like for Golden State, with where they are in the standings, they got to play here tonight, because they are just 1 game up on the Lakers and the Pelicans, who are 7-8 in the West. They could fall into a play-in tournament game. Could you imagine that? We could be talking next Tuesday, Golden State Warriors in defending NBA champions with Curry and Thompson and Draymond and company having to play in the play-in tournament, which would be unthinkable coming into the season. But they might still fall that way if they don't take care of business. But they look like they're motivated to take care of business tonight. They've got everybody suiting up, all hands on deck tonight. And then you look at how it's going to play out here for Sacramento. You've got Kevin Huerter, De'Aaron Fox, I should say, questionable, left ankle issue. Kevin Huerter, questionable. Davion Mitchell, questionable. Malik Monk, Domantas Sabonis. They're probably all not. Some of them, if not many of them, are probably not going to play for Sacramento. So tells you all you need to know. You got to probably take Golden State or nothing. But again, we're talking about 9.5 on the infamous road with the Golden State Warriors, where they've been absolutely pathetic. 9-30 straight up, 9-29 against the spread on the road this year as well for Golden State. I don't care how badly they want the game. They may not need this game more than a human being needs oxygen to breathe. I'm still not laying 9.5 points on the road with the Golden State Warriors. So this is one I'm staying off. I'd lean over if anything. I still don't know if Sacramento doesn't play defense half the time or consistently with everybody in. Now with everybody out, they're probably really going to struggle defensively. So they're betting it under, but I don't agree. What do you think here, Skee?
Yeah, when I see both of these two teams, I don't think under. I know the Kings play up tempo and don't play any defense, and the Warriors on the road don't really play defense either. So like another game where I'm leaning over. Don't really want to make a bet though.
Yeah, I think I'll probably small for me on the over here. I think it's just going in the wrong direction with what we've seen out of these two teams. Billy, what do you think?
I'm right there with you. Make it around at overs, man. Holy shit, dude. I bet the Warriors against the Thunder the other night, and man, those are one of those type of games where you got to go outside at halftime and smoke a blunt because you're like, why did I get myself involved in this ticket? I mean, they let up 78 points in the first half to the Thunder. The Warriors don't play a lick of defense. Every time I watch the Warriors, they don't play defense. The Kings' numbers don't play defense up and over that 235. And when they put the player props out for the Kings, once that injury news comes out, I would probably endorse some of the Kings player props tonight. They're all going to have a lot of value on it. Kevin Huerter, Keegan Murray, who else would be? Harrison Barnes. I mean, there's probably a list of guys that are going to get nice props tonight. Davion Mitchell, if De'Aaron Fox is out. So this is a game that I've circled to look back at around like 8 or 9 o'clock.
The one I like is because he's the one that's definitely playing. Everybody else you mentioned, Huerter, Sabonis, Murray, Fox, all of them, they're questionable. The one that's guaranteed from what I see to play tonight is Harrison Barnes, the veteran. So he's definitely and look, he's actually 16, 16, and 15 the last 3 games for Harrison Barnes as well. So he'd be the prop I'd be interested in most for sure tonight in this game is his over points because I think at least from his standpoint, we're at least going to get him in the lineup. But a lot of books don't have him listed yet. So you have to keep an eye. That's why it's exactly what you said. Check back before tip-off if you're going to get involved with props for this one. All right, final game of this interesting Friday card, and I'm being nice when I say that. Phoenix Suns, LA Lakers. We've got the Lakers, 13-point home favorites, 224 the total in this game. Phoenix Suns, they know where they're going to be, 4 seed in the Western Conference, hosting the 5 seed with home court advantage in the first round. There's nothing on the line, nothing at stake for Phoenix, but there is a whole lot at stake for the Lakers because they're still trying to get themselves it's really amazing. About a month ago, All-Star break and before that, we're wondering, are the Lakers even going to make the play-in tournament? Well, not only are they firmly in the play-in tournament, but now they can actually get themselves out of the play-in tournament and up into the top 6 in the West if things go right for them here in these last couple of games of the season. If they win, probably both games is what they're going to need to win and also get some help and see the teams in front of them, the Warriors and the Clippers, stumble here in the last couple games. So there is still a chance for AD, LeBron, and company to not be in the play-in tournament. But it starts here. They got to win this game. Clearly, Phoenix is uninterested. There is going to be no DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Chris Paul. All four, that's the big 4. That's the heart and soul of the team right there. They're going to be out. Doesn't mean we can't bet props, though, for Phoenix. I like a couple of props involving them. Cameron Payne, obviously, points and assists is the obvious choice, in my opinion, for Phoenix with everybody that's out. And then for the Lakers, I'm going back to the props with Austin Reeves. I mean, it's just, he's been absolutely excellent. 19, 15, 18, 28, 20. And usually I'm going with the over points, rebounds, and assists. But the points in particular, like he's been scoring a bunch here the last couple of games against the Clippers and the Jazz. So I might do a split bet. Austin Reeves over points and Austin Reeves over points, rebounds, and assists. The Oklahoma product, man, he's balling for the Lakers. There's not really much more you can say than that. He's been great. So it's a Lakers spot, clear as day. Question is, do you want to lay 13 at this point? Skee, what do you think here? Suns, Lakers.
Eves, props, or stay out the way. And myself, I'm staying out the way.
Yeah. Austin Reeves props have been phenomenal for me the last week or so. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Going back to the well. What do you think here, Billy Briz? Suns, Lakers.
Yeah, this line kind of got away a little bit, but I like the Lakers at minus 9.5 this morning. I think they blow the doors off of this game. I believe last home game for the season for the Lakers, right?
They're against Utah on Sunday at home. That's
at home. Never mind then. Well, I think they still win this game. I could care less what the line is. Put it in your parlays tonight. The Lakers are going to win.
And the over I lean with actually here. The Lakers are soaring over the total these last few games. So, this is another one. Total's going in the wrong direction. I know there's a lot of.
I don't know about the over in this one, Babano, because when the Suns have these certain players, then they're not going to get a lot of points inside. It's going to be Bismack Biyombo. He's not really a high usage player. If this goes over, then you might as well just bet Jack Landale prop separately.
I was on the Suns Nuggets over last night, but you're right. Everybody was in for the Suns last night. Everybody played. CP3 played. Booker played. Durant played. That isn't the case tonight, so we need some of these guys.
If it goes over, it would be what? The Shamit, Payne, Okogie props. Is Okogie even playing?
Okogie is, yeah.
It would be one of those 3-player props. I feel like I wouldn't feel comfortable placing the over, but I feel comfortable placing player prop overs, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'll probably do both. Especially because again, last night, a couple of the over winners I had were betting against the line move. The line moved to the under. I didn't agree. They were same thing with Portland, San Antonio. They were betting that under last night. How the hell did that happen? But
I didn't understand that either, Babano.
Yeah, that was a little nuts to me. But hey, I'll take advantage. I'm happy to do it. All right, good stuff. That's the Friday card. We made it entertaining. We made it fun. It's a really, really kind of a borderline horse shit card. Let's be honest. Late season. Motivation and people sitting left and right, but we did our best to give you some thoughts, give you some opinions here on this Friday card. Final NBA Pub Up show of the regular season. There won't be a show Monday because there's the NBA's off Monday. They take that day break between the end of the regular season and the play-in. The play-in will start on Tuesday, so Tuesday is when the show will return, 4 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 days next week, Tuesday to Friday, and then we get going with weekend shows the following Saturday, April the 15th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So the playoffs are right around the corner, and we're looking forward to them for sure. Hit the like button. We appreciate it. 117 live viewers on YouTube. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. We'll be right back with best bets. I use the term best bets loosely. It's such a tough card, but we'll give you some right after we hear from Manscaped and Southtown 101. All right, Southtown 101. When you're in San Antonio, Texas, stop in. Great food, drinks, live music, DJs, karaoke, Southtown 101 and manscaped.com. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com using the promo code PUBSPORTS. All right, best bets, final best bets for the regular season here on the NBA Pub Up. And man, we're happy to have the playoffs start, play-in and playoffs starting next week. Skee, we'll start with you. What do you like for best bet? Loosely, I use that term.
Yeah, I'm not placing a bet in NBA today. Maybe you guys want to look at props, Reeves props, Luka points, something like that. I'm not making any NBA bets today. You guys know I'm not shy, but I just don't feel like it's worth it today. At least not for me.
That's nothing wrong with that. It's a personal opinion. Yep. It's and exactly. It's again, late season NBA. I think the viewers will understand clearly. So there you go. Taking a pass on best bet is Skee, but gave you a couple ways you could consider this slate here tonight. Billy Briz, best bet.
Yeah, I'll give you guys a parlay for tonight on Bovada. If you parlay the New Orleans Pelicans, Los Angeles Lakers, and Aspen Ladd in PFL tonight, you get minus 150. Favorite player prop of the day, Sevi Mikhailiuk, over 16.5 points, minus 125. don't mind a 3-point prop. That's a little bit juiced at minus 180 for over. I think it's 2.5 threes, but I like Sevi Makayu player prop wise in the early game, and I like those two favorites to win plus Aspen Ladd on the PFL card tonight.
There you go, Aspen Ladd. I was wondering where she was. Of course, she used to be in the UFC. There she is. She's still kicking at another fight promotion now. Good stuff. All right, I'm going to actually give you two best bets here. Yeah, you think, am I nuts? Two best bets here on this whack, crazy, weak, frustrating to handicap Friday card near the end of the regular season. But I'm going to go with two best bets. One total, one side. Let's go over 229, Houston and Charlotte. I don't think anyone's playing defense in that game. And I'm going to go with the Raptors, Toronto Raptors, minus 120 on the money line against Boston. You can find that at DraftKings. So there you go. Two best bets, Houston, Charlotte over 229, Toronto minus 120 against Boston. There you go. To wrap up the regular season. That'll wrap up this show for today, and this will wrap up the regular season for the NBA Pub Hub. But we're back Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. The play-in tournament begins. We're looking forward to that. So join us Tuesday for the next edition of the NBA Pub Hub. For Skee Profit, Billy Briz, I'm Ian Cameron. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games and good luck. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you again on Tuesday for another edition of the NBA Pub Hub as the play-in tournament begins right here on Pub Sports Radio.